How's everybody doing tonight? Play this thing a little bit before we get our old boy Rob on here. Everybody had a halfway decent Monday. Spent some time in the studio. What we have here is a guitar that I've been playing since about June. This is the Lost Ship. This is a guitar here that was built by Wrobel out of Destin, Florida. Sorry, I'm not using my regular light that I normally use. That light is in a barn in a secret location for the photo shoot for the album cover, but this thing's a really nice piece of equipment here that Rob has built me, and like we did last week, we're going to kind of just talk about this instrument and bring Rob on, and as you can see, I played it a little bit in the first part of the video. We had it at a really kind of creamy, clean tone, and then we kind of just added a little bit of the gain and the power level, pushed the tube a little bit on the amp, and just get it to grind a little bit, just let it to what I used to say, let it grunge up a little. And this is a really cool guitar. I'm going to talk a little bit before we yeah, we're gonna get into a few different things about this guitar before we bring Rob on, and Rob's become one of my favorite people over the last couple of years now. Or yeah, I guess I've been knowing you about a year, and time flies when you're having fun. But this is a 6-string guitar that he made me. This is a neck that he made. This is solid. This has been around the world and back, and it features the lace mini Nitro pickup, as well as a couple other fancy things like Schraller locking tuners and a Schraller bridge. It's really, you know, a guitar meant for somebody on the road. I've done a couple little different things to it in the sense of, you know, I play the hell out of stuff, and like he was saying, the different knob, I actually found the knob, Rob. It ended up I was at a gig and it popped off, and I thought I had lost it, but it ended up being in a case or something. So I did find that. Then, you know, obviously I've done a few other things, but it's held up. You know, certain things are just going to wear and tear. I mean, I'm hard on stuff, but this has been a very sturdy guitar. I've tracked a lot of my current record with this instrument, a lot of the rhythm tracks. So yeah, it's just a really interesting instrument. Really just catches your eye with this sunburst. But we can bring on Rob and let him talk. Rob, comment on there if you're ready for me to bring you on, buddy. We'll let you really just be the master here and talk about this thing. So let's see if we can dial him in here. Invite right there. Let's see, we sent the invite. Now let's see what happens. See if he connects on the invitation. I'm going to turn this guitar down here. Alright, there it is. We're going to go ahead and accept him and approve him here. This is kind of interesting how Facebook does this. Hopefully we can get him here. I think the Wi-Fi connection should be good. Bear with me here. Alright, it's taking a minute for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's peak hour and everybody and their brother is trying to be on the internet. But I'll just play it more while... Alright, now it's saying connecting. There he is.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much, man.
Ah, it's good to see you.
You too.
Cyberspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is something, I thought would be kind of cool. There's been, quite a few you guys have taken the time, to build me, instruments that are quality. And I thought, it might be cool to kind of, do this for those people and talk about them and the instrument and their process and why they got into it. And I kind of know a little bit, of your background, which is kind of wild compared to what you're doing now. And I just want you to just go ahead and maybe kind of tell the people who are watching, like what got you into it. I mean, your past life is like a little bit of construction and like motorcycle racing or something like that. But just tell the people about yourself and what got you into the cigar box guitars.
Well, it's a long, short story. I did. I was a sheet metal mechanic for 30 years, and I owned a sheet metal company and a gutter company. And I also grew up racing motorcycles since the age of 8. But make a long story short, when I was in my 40s, I broke my neck.
Yeah.
And I did play guitar along the way. I've got 6-string acoustics, 12-string acoustics. I've got 3 6-string electric guitars that I haven't touched at all for years, but I still have them. But I couldn't play guitar anymore because my hands wouldn't move, when I wanted them to, and make chords and everything. So, but I was at work one day, and this kid came in that worked for me, and he had this beat-up Cigar Box 3-string guitar that his nephew had built.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "Hey, Rob, check this out." And I was like, "What the hell is it?" He said, "It's a Cigar Box guitar. It's 3-string, open G tuning." And I sat there for a little while in the office, and I messed with it. And he said, "Go ahead, take it home." So I took it home that night, and I realized that, wow, I can play this thing with one finger.
Yeah.
I don't have to make triad and make chords and, inversions and do all this crazy crap, I can play with one finger. So, and I didn't know anything about a slide. I never played with a slide.
Yeah.
But I messed around. I figured out how to play Man in the Wilderness by Styx with one finger that night on that thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. So that was the weekend of my 55th birthday. So I built 4 guitars that weekend.
Wow.
Of course, they were all pieces of shit, but
do you still
they were.
Do you have that one that looks like a really nice paddle on top of the box? Wasn't that one of your first ones? It had like eye bolts. Like your first ones.
Oh yeah, I still have my first one.
Yeah, that thing's cool, man. That's I mean,
let me show you this thing.
Yeah, I want to show everybody what the first one.
Of course, now it doesn't have the eye bolts anymore, but it basically was a piece of poplar wood that I notched out and screwed to this underground box. Drilled some sound holes in it.
You've got that one put up, and I'm going to stick this one up. So it's like...
Yeah. Oh, and check out the fretboard. These finish nails for frets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the headstock. I mean, it was so crude, man. Now, this was number 1, October 30th, 2015.
Wow.
And you have, what number is that one?
This is 156.
156. I just today finished 238.
Yeah. Hey, I got your audio still, but your video's lagged.
Oh.
So.
It's probably Wi-Fi. Move you over here. See if the Wi-Fi is any better over here.
If not, we can try to redial it in.
You got me?
I got your audio here. I'm going to cut you off and try to get back on the video again. All right?
Okay.
All right. Hold up. We'll get him right back on there. We had the Oh yeah, but we didn't have any video there, so we'll let him pick up that invitation again. And while we're dialing in with him, Tom, what do you mean? What's the difference? What's your question there? I want to make sure we answer that. And what he was saying about one finger, like I have this guitar here, is tuned to open E. So what he was saying with one finger. So here's one finger playing. I just want to make love to you in open E. So that's what he was talking about with, one finger. I'm going to try to get him back on here. Rob, go ahead and try to jump back on there. We'll get it figured out. We're slowly getting it. But that's what he was saying about the one finger playing. But with half the strings, you have a thinner neck, so that one finger motion. Because being an open chord, everywhere you put your finger is going to be another chord, So I wanted to emphasize on that from what he was saying, and especially with 3 strings, which you can see a little bit of that with what we did last week with Rusty's guitar. Rob, go ahead and try to do the request, because I've sent you a invite, and we'll try to get you back on there because I want to talk a little bit. Well, his first builds didn't have any traditional tuning keys. It was like how the old school diddly bows were made. Kind of, he used these kind of tuning keys, which is just an eye bolt and a wing nut. And that was on top of the body, so it was on top of the box. That's in reality, Tom. What he has there would be more of the Neanderthal kind of traditional cigar box guitar kind of values to it. This is obviously something that has come into this century. So we're going to try to get Rob back on here and kind of talk about his process. Let's see if we can get him connected. This is probably peak hour. Everybody's getting home, getting on their internet and whatnot down there in Destin, Florida. So. There he is.
There you are. I see you.
Cool. So what I want to go into real quick, so you built those first ones and it kind of inspired you, and kind of what got you to this point, like you've got your own kind of old design here, and the way you layer the heel as well as the the headstock, and you kind of have your look with the cigar box cigar label that matches, and all that, just kind of how did you come up with your style? Like, what inspired you, to do this?
I just, when I started building them, of course, when you first start building them, you're looking at online and you're trying to figure out how to do it. And I went through all that. I built resonators. I built all kinds of crazy crap. And one day I was just like, you know what? Actually, it was Dan Sleep called me on the phone because I ordered a pickup from him and it was bad. And he'd sent me another one, and he called me on the phone, and we were talking, and he says, Rob, he's like, just build your own guitar. Don't listen to nobody. Don't look at nobody else's work. Just build your own guitar. And I took it from Dan Sleep, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I just come up with my own stuff. Every build is a new experience. I learn something on every build. I try stuff on every build. And my biggest critic are my guitar playing friends that play my guitars. You can build a cigar box guitar, but it has to be playable. It's got to be intonated. It's got to be something that somebody can plug in on stage and play the shit out of it for 2 hours, and it stays together.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I've strived to do.
And some people, you know, out there looking for, you know, a more Neanderthal instrument, and some people want this. Some people want, you know, that a sound in an instrument that they can pick up, and it is parallel to, you know, other instruments that they're utilizing in the show. Like me, you know, I have instruments, you know, that I need to make sure they have this certain sound, and they last this certain amount of time, or obviously you can take them, you know, 10,000 miles in a plane. And, you know, this is obviously one of those things, you know, it's right up there with, you know, guitars that, you know, I'm endorsed with, like guitars that cost, you know, $1,000, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know, I just like building my own guitar. But another thing I try to do too is I try to make them as maintenance free and easily maintained as possible. Yeah. You know, and I think I've done a pretty good job with it. I can't believe you got 153, man. That's almost 100 guitars ago.
Pull off the wall and show them my new guitar. Let me see.
Oh, you want to see that?
Yeah, this is the one that I'm too poor to send because I've been in the studio for 2 days. But look at that mother! Woo!
It's got it's a thumper. It's a twin output.
Yeah, man.
It's got the rod piezo embedded underneath the bridge that goes to the EQ preamp. And then it's got that signature John Nickel bass mag under the low G, halfway between the octave of the 12th and the bridge. And then it's got a really clean maple neck on it. It's got white side markers on it.
That's my favorite.
Markers. It's got a mahogany fretboard. It's got the 3-wood headstock on it, which really turned out sweet on this one. It's got the Cigar Factory logo, bone nut with the 0 fret. And she's a lefty, so. And she's got good tone, even when not having a sound hole in it. One
thing, it's like, you know, if people come to me and we start to build, like, or I need a guitar, it's like, I don't want to have, like, you know, a million of the same kind of guitars, you know. So that's why I got my 6-string Wrobel, and now I got me a twin, and, you know, because I'm trying to move the show to the solo show to continue to thicken it up, obviously. You know, so that's why I approached you, and I have that one, the piezo to the preamp with the bass mag, and then Chuck H, who's on here, who is actually a local here in Nashville, he's working on something with a single bass mag and a humbucker. So you see, I have the 2 different kinds of pickup configurations for different tones, because that's one thing too, you know, some guitars in some songs need a cleaner tone, or some need, you know, a beefier tone, and it's cool to be able to switch between different kind of pickup configurations and have, you know, like this multiple choice, you know, and they're so beautiful, and they.
Well, that's the thing.
So.
Guitars and guitar players, man, how many different cars are there on the road?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean.
They're like beautiful women.
You can't. Yeah, hey, everybody has their own taste, their own style, what they like, what they don't like. And then you like a variety. You know, look at Patty. I don't know if he's still on here. He's got 4 of my guitars.
Yeah.
And every one of them are different. Every one of them have different pickups.
Yeah.
But you just got to go with it, man.
So
I'm taking this one up tonight to get played at a show. This one's going to be played tonight. I got it all set up. Cigar Factory build. It's got the humbucker.
So now let me tell you. Let's talk about your kind of you've developed a bit of a personal connection to, obviously, you know, like I have to Giddy and obviously Lace and Wiggins and those type of people. So what are, I mean, you know, talk about some of those, you know, certain products and things that you use on the regular, you know, like your go-to things.
Well, my favorite pickups I like to use,
Yeah.
I love the Lace
Yeah,
pickups for sure. The matchbook, and I love that little mini Nitro sensor. That one, and they actually, those are current driven technology too. That's a current driven pickup, and it comes in at 15.8K.
You know, I'm getting spoiled by using theirs because I plugged in, you know, some other guitars that I've used, and you know, they don't have their pickups in there, and I just go back to this or Rusty's because I'm kind of getting spoiled by that sound, you know.
Well, I got box, and I'm actually going to get with Don, and I'm going to do a dual mini Nitro sensor, a neck and bridge setup. The neck comes in at 15K. The bridge comes in at 19.5.
Yeah, they roar, man.
I mean, so that guitar is going to be one kick-ass
Now, hold
guitar.
on. I see Chris McKinney's on real quick. I'm gonna get him on next week because I have a guitar that he gave me a couple of years ago. So I was gonna message Chris. I'm glad he's on there. I just wanted to make a quick note of that. He's saying hey on the chat here. So me and Chris were doing a little bit of conspiring on an interesting oil can guitar featuring the matchbook pickup and a psycho knob. So maybe we'll get that
there you go
one day. But anyways, so this guitar here, all right, so we have oh, look at that. He's working on the can, man. I love it. All right, so we have a Schraller bridge on here, which is, I mean, that's a high-end bridge, brother.
Yeah, they are. They're German made. That bridge is about $100 bridge.
Yeah. Met their salesman at NAMM. I guess is their U.S. guy. So, you know, I chit-chat him about there because, you know, my only thing that, and we've talked about this before, is, you know, I have to make sure I use the right gauge of strings for this because I can pop it out. But I'm aggressive. I'm an aggressive player. And, you know, I tried to say something to Schraller about it, but they weren't hearing it.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I found, you know, if I use the right.
Well, not only that.
What'd you say?
I said not only that, I couldn't find a left-handed bridge, so that's a right-handed bridge.
You know what? I didn't even notice that. I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
I love the thing. It's all good. So we've got what was Gretsch. I got one of them somewhere. It's in a bag or something here. And you actually airbrushed.
That's fun.
You airbrushed that.
Yeah.
That sun.
Yeah.
And
it was pretty easy though. I mean, it wasn't hard. I mean, there was no detail to it really. It was just basically just highlighted out. I moused off the center of it and then just bled the colors in.
Yeah, but how the water looks is really.
I used to airbrush a lot when I was younger.
How the water looks really cool.
Yeah, I tried to make it look ominous, you know, like the Red Sea or something.
Yeah. And you said.
And the ship was in a bubble.
Teak and maple, I think, right?
Yeah, the teak actually came off an old wood fishing boat here in Destin. That teak's probably like 80 or 90 years old.
Yeah, that's what I thought you had told me. I mean, that's what I've been telling everybody. And then we've got
some old wood right there, dude.
Schraller locking tuners. Which I like those tuners.
Do you wind those strings around there and then tighten them? Because basically you can just pull the string through the eyelet, tighten it down, and then tune
It's a little bit.
You don't have to.
I do about half and half. Like I'll put it in there with a little slack in it, and then tighten it just some, tune it up, and then I tighten it real tight on there.
There you go.
Because, you know,
yeah, because some people don't know how to use them.
You know, yeah. I had a pair of hip shot ones that I used, so I had a little bit experience with them. But yeah, I mean, this is these are solid instruments. I mean, like I said, I've taken this. I've played this probably on every gig, Rob, since June, since he gave it to me.
I'm just waiting to see how long it's going to take you to wear it out.
I hope. I mean, you know, it would be cool if it starts getting. I mean, one thing is this piece came off, which is fine. You know, that's cool. But check this out. I thought this was interesting. So here's this hinge, right? And here's the one where my hand all the time sweating. It's like all rusted and stuff.
Hey, that's what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, dude.
No, it's great.
You wear that box out.
So, all right.
I can rebuild it.
I just want to make sure everybody check you out on Rob's Cigar Box Guitars on Facebook. He's got them up on Wrobel. And you've got some over on CBG now, right?
Yeah, Ben's got a couple of my guitars. I don't know. I haven't checked to see if they're still there or not, but yeah, they're in the store on CBG. And I like CBG snake oil humbuckers too.
Yeah.
That's a damn good pickup for the $1. I mean, that it only comes in at like 8.9K, but it's got a lot of good punch. As a matter of fact, tonight, that's what's in this one. And I got it set up for Jason to play tonight, so I'll have some video of him playing this one tonight.
Yeah, so...
And he likes me to set him up a certain... I got to tune it standard. It's tuned ADG.
Okay.
Because he only likes to play lead on it. So halfway through a song, he'll just pick up my guitar and rip out a lead on it. Because he likes to play lead so he can check the whole fretboard out.
I got you.
He likes to finger all the notes and pull the strings and check it all and make sure everything's good to go for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've tracked a lot of the record with this guitar, so, you know, I can at least say, you know, that it does the job in more ways than one, so. But,
that's good. I've lowered a freaking...
he's froze up again. Hold on, say that again. You froze for a second.
Did you freeze up?
Yeah.
Oh, I said, you've been dragging that thing all over the countryside, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's got to be holding together halfway.
Yeah, I mean, I've been putting it in the case. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I was dragging it by a string, it may be different. But, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's held up. I mean, even the little lace logos come off. I wore that off there, and you know, it's got a few war wounds in the neck, a couple little dings, but you know, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, been to Australia and everywhere else, so.
Well, when you want it freshened up, just send it back to me, man. I'll take it apart, sand it down, freshen it up.
It won't look that good in the museum then. But, all right, brother, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to finish this video by answering a few of these comments we have here in the questions. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, man, I'm good. Matter of fact, I got to get to the gig. I got to get this up for Jason to play.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your night.
Good talking to you. All right, I'll get this thing sent out. I'll get with you tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. Talk to you soon, brother.
All right, Travis. Bye, later, brother. Bye.
It won't let me in. There it goes. Good deal. All right. So that was a little bit from Rob and his process. I'm just going back here and seeing what's going on. Chuck, we were talking about you earlier a bit. Chris, I'm going to answer, or Kirk here, we're going to answer your question. When did I first hear about the Cigar Box guitar? So, when I got out of high school, I used to have this job, kind of an office job. It was a horrible job, but I had it for about 5 years, and this lady who worked for me, Jerry Rottinghouse, she's actually a friend of mine here on Facebook. Everybody knew I was into music and did it on the weekends and every chance I could, but she said her son, David, was making, kind of cigar box guitars, kind of upcycled instruments, and he wanted to build me something, so he built me a guitar. It's actually in the closet. It's he called it the Tiosaurus Rex, and it was kind of like a Les Paul kind of looking guitar with an Epiphone neck and one humbucker, but it had a frame that was made out of wood that kind of looked like a Les Paul, but more not rounded, very angled, and it was mounted on top and bottom were cigar boxes, the tops and backs. And he gave it to me, and I thought that was just a really crazy thing, and I carried it around for years. In fact, I still have it. And then I started using these guitars out of New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, called Music Box Guitars. My sparkly silver one and the Tobacco Burst guitar that I have. And I met them several years ago at the NAMM trade show and went out to Anaheim to the trade show for them, and I met Shane Spiel, and I actually saw, like a 3 or 4 string, kind of more of a roots, what a more traditional cigar box guitar looked like, and I thought that was cool, and it interested me. And I had told a friend of mine, Lynn Stevens, that I thought it was cool, and then I met Ben Giddy and got a cigar box amp kit, and I thought after I built that I was just super proud and thought it was just wonderful. And my friend Lynn ended up getting me some old boxes, and I made some slide kind of fretless baritone neck on top of the box cigar box guitars, and people thought they were cool. And then I made 10 more, and then 10 more, and this is 156 of Rob's, and that's about where I am with what I've sold. But so that's kind of my history of it, and I've always kind of, I guess, been a blues musician, but didn't really realize it till about 5 or 6 plus years ago when I started getting really heavy into the music business. And it's kind of labeled that, and I started doing history of the music I grew up on and how it was really, stemmed from the blues. And then the cigar box kind of came around, and it just seemed like, that was kind of a missing puzzle for my live show and what I was trying to do. So now I've become kind of an activist of blues music and the historical fact and the instruments, and certain things that are involved in it, and making sure history doesn't repeat itself in certain aspects, and all that good stuff. So that's really the story. But I'd like to thank y'all for taking the time to join us and listen to Rob and myself. And this video will be a little bit more edited with some titles and inserts, and put on my YouTube channel later on tomorrow. But I'm going to play y'all out a little bit on this. And we appreciate you. So much for watching.